Hey mate.
Hey mate.
What's happening? How'd you get on? Big grey kicks.
You're funny.
Oh, it looks like you've styled it or something. It's normally a bit rougher than that.
Come and get this week.
I will. Yep. No problems. Same with your questions then. Is it 1-1? No, 1-0. Yeah.
Cameras, you all still rolling? Thumbs up. Let's got the first question. Isabel, just wait for the microphone, please.
Oh.
The concussion substitute means you needed a like-for-like replacement. Were you surprised at how like-for-like Marnus ended up being?
Yeah, I was. We wanted two. We think if Smithy's averaging 62, you should be able to bring a couple of batters in. But Marnus played, I thought, superbly for a guy in probably his third or fourth test. Got hit hard in the face second ball. I thought he showed great character, great skill and really good technique. We know Marnus is a quality player. He's getting better all the time. So we're happy with the way he played, yeah.
Hugh and then Dave.
Considering what played out of the last session, to what extent was today pretty much a great escape for Australia?
I wouldn't say it was a great escape at all. I would have said we played reasonably well to 3 for 130, and then you have a little something that doesn't quite go your way, and you've got a guy bowling 150 Ks, and it's quite dark and it's difficult. That's Test cricket, and we found a way out of it. I'm really proud of our team. I thought in the first innings as well, I thought the way our tail stuck at some pretty uncomfortable batting period of time. I know some tails wouldn't dig in like ours did, so I was really proud of the way they went about it in the first innings.
Tim, how is Steve and what are his chances of playing at Headingley?
Believe it or not, over my 18 years of being a cricketer, I haven't been to university. So I'm taking the advice, as Stephen is, from our doctors at the moment. The advice is at the moment that he pulled up a bit groggy this morning, so he was ruled out of today. Reasons being that after passing some initial tests, he failed this morning, and he'll be reassessed in the next few days, probably constantly, I would imagine.
And Joe Root sort of suggested Jofra Archer's changed the dynamic a little bit of the series and giving you guys something to think about. What would you say to that?
It's 1-0. We go to a test match next week in Leeds. We're in a great position. We're happy with the position we're in. I thought Jofra bowled really well in this game. As I said, I thought, particularly in the first innings, I think we faced 100-odd overs, so there was periods of times where I thought we batted really well, played Jofra well. I think at times he's very difficult to start your innings against because of the pace and the bounce that he gets. But again, I think guys who got in showed that it is doable. So guys have been around bowling 145, 150 Ks for a long time, and it's a challenge, so that's why we're playing Test cricket.
Ian, Barrett, Dan and Chris.
Tim, just how much of a worry is the form of the two openers, and how much of a worry is the form of your two openers and the way that Marnus batted today? Even if Steve is available, he's going to be kind of, he must be pushing for a place in the team at least.
Yeah, of course he is. So is Marcus Harris. So the bowlers that we've got on the sidelines at the moment, and as we've said throughout the series so far, we'll get to Leeds, we'll have a look at the conditions, and we'll pick the best team to win the game and to take 20 wickets. I think if you look at top order batting across the two teams, it shows you that it's probably a pretty difficult place to be batting at the moment on either side. So, those guys would like more runs. We know how good David is. He's got 7,000 test runs at 50. And Cameron Bancroft, I thought in this game, looked pretty good, faced a lot of balls. Probably would have liked to have scored a few more runs, but I thought he acquitted himself pretty well again against some pretty high quality bowling.
Tim, just with Jofra, it looked like it was often guys was finding it difficult to pick his bouncers or not just pick the length. Even the guys who got hit. Is it an action that will take a while to get used to? Is it something unusual, really?
Yeah, as I said, I think it does. Guys bowling at that pace takes time to get used to, and Jofra bowls from quite a high, from a height, and he gets steep bounce. So yeah, it can take a little bit of time to get used to. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, there was I think the reason a lot of guys were hitting this game was because the pitch was actually a little bit too paced as well. So it was very difficult to whether decide to pull or to duck, because you duck some, it didn't get up, and you try and stand up and pull and it took off. So that just made it all the more challenging.
Tim, there's obviously it's a very short turnaround to the next Test match, and there's a bit of adversity, I suppose you'd say, in terms of what Steve's situation is and team selection, and you've got a few guys who haven't made runs. What are the things you concentrate on over the next 2 days to I suppose balance dealing with those issues, but also I suppose having a rest, given that that's
look, nothing changes. We'll focus on what we think is going to win the games, and our message from a captain or a coach won't change. We've got a pretty clear plan in place that we think if we execute, we can win the Ashes in these conditions. Whether Steve's playing, whether James Pattinson's playing, it doesn't matter. The players we pick are picked to play a role. They're really clear on that. They know what's expected. Everyone in our team does. And it's not so much about the person. We've been lucky that we've had Steve Smith batting really well, but I thought, as you said, Marnus came in and batted as well as anyone did in the Test match.
And just on, just in your innings, what you talked about before, not being difficult to judge which ones to pull and which ones to let go of, was your shot just sort of an effort to assert, given that some were, there was variability there?
No, you haven't got a lot of time to think about it. That's cricket. Sometimes you get it wrong. I was thinking about ducking under it, don't get me wrong, but 150 can make you do different things, and I just didn't hit it where I'd like to hit it. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to keep playing the way I want to play.
Chris?
Tim, obviously with the situation with Steve, it's up in the air, and as you know, none of us in here, we're not doctors, we don't really know what's going to happen, but if the worst came to the worst and he wasn't available for Headingley, are you confident you have enough character and skill in your team to still win that Test match?
Yeah, I think so. As I said, I think Marnus came in tonight and batted as well as anyone in the Test match. In, I think, the hardest conditions in the Test match. So it was dark, it was spinning, it was fast, it was moving around a bit, and I thought he handled it as well as anyone in the whole Test. So we've got him up our sleeve. We've got Marcus Harris, who's coming off 12 or 1,300 Shield runs. He's playing really well and knows exactly what he's doing now, how he goes about his game. So he's another one who's ready to go if Steve wasn't to pull up. But I reckon it'd be pretty hard to stop Smithy walking out next week.
Last four now. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Marnus didn't seem overly pleased with his dismissal. What was the dressing room's take on that catch, and I suppose you personally?
I've only seen what you guys have seen. I know what it's like when you're in Joe's position as a wicketkeeper or a fielder. You dive forward, you feel the ball hit your hands and you catch it. He thought he caught it. I think we can all make your own opinion from what you saw on the television. I'm not going to comment on it. It is what it is, and we can't control it. It's happened.
So did Marnus think it wasn't a catch, or?
I actually haven't spoken to Marnus about it, to be honest. But as I said, it's irrelevant.
Tim, did you speak personally to Steve when he came back in the dressing room, and was there any point where you thought you might need to just take him aside and say, mate, it might not be worth going out, or did you just leave that entirely in the hands of the doctors once they cleared him? It's his decision to make. Yeah,
it's above my pay grade, that one. Look, it's something that I think Cricket Australia have actually pioneered, this concussion sub, and something they take very seriously. I know our doctor does. And as I said, Steve was put through a process like everyone is. He passed all of those tests. He felt fine. So the decision was made by those professionals that he was okay to go out and play. Steve wanted to. And then this morning, as I said, he went through the same process and his marks weren't as good. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but and again, as soon as he was seen to be unfit to take the field. They made that decision, and it was taken out of mine, Justin's and Steve's hands. That's a medical decision that's made.
Tim, 2 fairly tight test matches, 1-0 to Australia, but who do you think has the momentum heading into the third game?
I don't think it matters so much. I think we go to Headingley next week, and we knew coming here that the 5-test series is going to be tough. There's a reason Australian teams haven't won over here for 18 years. Having said that, I think if you had said after 2 tests you'd be 1-0 up, we would have taken it every day of the week. So, we're really happy with the position we're in at the moment. We thought we were off the mark a little bit this test match, particularly with our catching and our decision reviews. We got a few of them wrong as well, but look, for pleasing things were, I thought as a bowling group we created a hell of a lot of chances again, so that's a really pleasing thing going to Headingley. And as I said, we batted for over 100 overs in our first innings, and got a lot of overs into their bowlers, which is something that we want to do, and we're trying to do each test match. And we think if we can do that, then we'll get some return on that in the back end of the series. So we know it's going to be a tough series. We're looking forward to getting to Headingley. Again, the first hour of Headingley is going to be really important. What's happened here or what's happening at Edgbaston is irrelevant once we take the field there.
And just on Trevor's head, what do you think that innings will do for him as a batsman and as a leader for the group? Yeah,
it was good. There was some moments there I thought we were going to have to run some gloves out and tell him that we weren't actually chasing the total there late. But that's the beauty of Heady and Marnus, is that, and something that we want them to continue to do, is regardless of the situation, they play the same way. And I think if you can do that at their age in your first 5 or 6 test matches, I think that shows some real belief and some real courage. So we don't want to take their natural attacking style of play. Same with Marnus with his sweeping. It's a real skill to be able to do that. So we want to encourage those guys to keep taking the game on and keep showing their skill and technique. So that I thought both those guys were great, and they'll both learn a lot and take a lot of confidence from it.
Last question now, Stefan at the back.
Tim, even if England have had the better of this game, how conscious are you that you're just one win away from retaining the Ashes? That could be a good performance from you guys or a poor performance from England in the ends, heading back down under.
I didn't get much of that, to be honest.
One more win at Headingley.
Yeah.
And you retain the Ashes.
Oh yeah, I haven't even thought about that, to be honest. It's a good point. I mean, it just got sort of lost in the today being a draw. I haven't sort of put it all together yet, but you're right. So as I said, that's a great situation for us to be in, and I thought this test match was tight all the way through, same as Edgbaston. I know we ended up winning that by 250 runs, but it didn't feel like it. It wasn't that sort of test match where you thought, geez, we just won by 250 runs and done it comfortably. That was a real battle for 4.5 days, and this one was no different. So I think we're going to see that for the next 3 tests. There's going to be moments where England are in control, and there's going to be moments where we're in control, and you just got to make sure that you can take that winning momentum as long as you can in the game. And I thought that's probably where England were just ahead of us this game. We sort of dropped a few catches when we were on top and messed up a few reviews, and gave a few wickets when we were just starting to get on top of the game. That's something we just need to tidy up on next week. But as I said, we know it's going to be hard fought 5 tests, and that's what we're ready for. That's what we want. That's what makes it so great.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
This hurts me as much as it hurts you. Tomorrow. We've got to.